All right, how's everybody doing? Good, I hope. Here are some tips for your final project. The final project for this class is to take a policy manual and try to make it friendlier. Some of you, most of you I think, are working, so you can find a policy manual from work. That would be great if they'll let you do it. Or you might have to go back to your school days and get the handbook or the policy manual from the school. And for some of you who didn't, maybe lost all of this, you might get somebody else's handbook or policy manual from work or school. So you start out with one of these policy manuals. And these policy manuals in the workplace would normally be built by HR or some HR type of person. And at the school, I don't think they have HR, but they do have admin who builds the policy manuals. So what I want you to do is find that and then read it. And once you read it, you know, as you're reading it, ask, how do you feel about it? What are the words saying to you? Is it motivational and exciting? Or are you depressed and dreading the whole experience? I want to create policy manuals that are motivating, create some excitement, create pride. And I'm wondering, as I believe one of the crazy companies said, why would I, impose rules on all of the people when only 2% of the people are going to break the obvious rule? So, what they say, what the first time is a verbal something, maybe the second time is a memo, and the third time something happens bad, it becomes a new policy. And that, again, might be isolated incidents with individuals, and it's really bringing down the whole party when only one or two people are going to act up. So, is the policy manual theory X or is it theory Y? Is it assuming good things about people or is it assuming the worst? Is it toxic or pure? We could go down and mix that with, do you feel like you're treated as an adult or being treated as a kid? What do you find good about the manual? Some things will be good, and here again, some things you will hate. In the forums, there's a forum about policies that you love and hate and what's needed and not. So we're looking at a real life example of a book and a manual or handbook, and we're going to try to change it. So after you've read it and you see how you feel, if you get an electronic copy, you might make little notes or pencil it in. I hate this. I don't like this. I love this. This is good. So what would you keep from the policy manual, and why would you keep that? Is it needed? Is it needed for legal reasons? Is it a safety thing that the building will explode if you do this? And then what would you delete, and why would you delete it? It's not needed. It's theory X. Somebody did something once, so now we have a new policy, and get rid of it. The crazy companies are saying, just blow the whole thing up and start over, because over the years these things tend to get bigger and bigger and bigger. What could you change, and why? Now I will have another video for this, and it's going from rules to what I call value statements. It means you must wear khakis and tuck in your shirt, right? Or I gotta do that? I don't wanna, I have to do it? Maybe I would've liked doing it, but now I have to, so I don't like doing it. Natural human tendency. We don't like being told what to do many times. We expect our workers to dress business casual for the pride of our office and our operation. See, it's not a you have to, it's we would like are suggested and the reason behind it. Many years ago, I was at a place with here in the upstairs, and the current boss at the time noticed that there was an absentee problem. And there wasn't a rule, but there was a value statement. It wasn't, if you miss class, this is gonna happen. Or, if you miss class, I'm gonna do this. It wasn't like that. She said, I noticed that we have an absentee problem. And I noticed it's creeping up. It might be, I'm not comfortable with it. Please remember that students come from all over the country. They put in a lot of effort and a lot of money to get here. And when they get here and there's no one to lead their classroom, they're very disappointed, and they should be. Make every effort to come to class, or do your best to notify them either by phoning them or emailing them one at a time, and let them know that class has been canceled. See, that's a lot different from you must, or if you don't. If you do this, you'll get that. I want you to think about what we're about, and let's think about the customer. So, big difference, right? So, you must wear, go back to school. You must wear uniforms that are 1 inch here, and the socks must be here, and the shoes have to be all black. Number one, why do the shoes have to be all black? That's ridiculous. That has nothing to do with calculus. How many people are wearing mini skirts or torn up clothes? Most, I think, high school kids kind of want to impress the others and dress nicely. At my high school, there was no dress code, and we all made it out just fine. So, what we want to end up with is a feel-good dignity and pride. Now, you might feel that some things are needed, and it might be needed due to law, but then we're assuming there's no common sense. Violence towards your coworker will result in termination. Don't we already know that? So, what's needed? And well, how can we make it better so it ends up being feel-good, dignity, and pride? Treating people like adults, not kids. So, I'll probably put up a little forum so you can ask more questions about that. But that's basically it. We just want a pure, less toxic, more pure, less toxic, inspirational handbook that we can look forward to instead of being depressed and dreading the whole experience because the place is full of rules. All right.